Guestline has always sought to, focus on the needs of those independent hotels and those medium and regional chains, large chains, as I mentioned. And the platform that we have, looks to help them drive more revenue more efficiently. So we provide all of the booking capabilities, both direct and through the OTAs. The whole digital guest experience, so from checking on your mobile to kiosk to front of desk, front house rather. All of the operational software, so the property management system, the point of sale system, event management capabilities and payments, all rolled into a sort of modular platform. And I guess with that sort of platform, we also focus very heavily on the service delivery that surrounds the software. We recognize that hotels are there to delight their guests, and if we're not working very hard every single day to do the same for our customers, to help them get the most of what we do, to solve problems that occur occasionally, that's a very core part of what we do, and we are have always been very, very focused on that. With Access, I think what we get is we get broader range of products to be able to bring into the Guestline platform, procurement, people management, staff rotas, CRM systems. There is a long list of potential opportunities there for us, but without losing any of that service delivery that Guestline works hard at every single day, has always done so, and I think that delivery of that joined up experience is one of the things I think that Access was attracted to Guestline for. As I say, we'll with Access be leading the charge into hotels for them, leveraging the expertise that we have and the capabilities we have, but now with more resource, more capability, more choice for our customers. Good question. I mean, I think the kiosk is really part of a journey that we've been on really since 2020, just at the start of COVID, which was really about how do we help our hoteliers to deliver more of those digital guest experiences that actually those guests are increasingly demanding. So the first thing that we launched in terms of that digital guest experience was the mobile. So that's the ability for guests to be able to check in, for hoteliers to be able to upsell through that check-in experience. Kiosk is a natural extension of that, which then allows hoteliers to complete that journey or indeed start that check-in experience at the hotel, but doing it themselves, as you say, in a very simple, straightforward way. And again, upsells will be there to, so that hotels don't lose that opportunity to upsell. But also, if the guest still wants to go to the front desk, they can have exactly the same experience because it's all powered by the same system. And I guess to give you an example, if you think about a businessman checking in at 11 o'clock at night after a long day, they probably just want to go to a kiosk, check in and head out. That same businessman at the weekend turning up at that same hotel with his family of young kids might say, do you know what, I just want to go to the front desk and I want to get that help with experience. So for us, as I say, it's an extension of delivering that guest experience. It's what guests are, I think, increasingly demanding, particularly I suppose the generation that have just grown up with the iPhone and other GUI mobile experiences, and we'll continue to enhance and develop it. But it's what we've set out to do is to really try and deliver what we would call a sort of an omni-channel experience, an experience where actually the guests, if the hotel wishes, deploys all of those capabilities, the mobile, the kiosk, obviously our PMS, then the guest gets to choose what's the best way for them, and the hotelier has the opportunity to drive more efficiency in the way in which they operate, because again, a self-service check-in saves a hell of a lot of time at the front desk. So again, different hotels will have different needs, will have different service they wish to deliver. We're trying to create the flexibility in the system to allow them also to have that choice. Very, very strongly. We've had a lot of interest. I think we've got about 50 that we're already sort of in the process of installing. We've got some very happy customers already using it, like Point A hotels, who are rolling that out right across their whole estate. But also some of our groups in Germany, again, also rolling it out. I mean, from those that are using it alongside the mobile and the front of house, to those who are using it just as a mechanism to check in with where they have no reception staff at certain points of the evening. So yeah, very strong, but it's still a continuous journey. We're getting lots of feedback from customers. We're building that into our product roadmaps. We're looking to continuously enhance that product. So again, it meets the needs. It helps hoteliers, deliver that nirvana of a bit more revenue through upsell, but much more efficiently delivered. Well, I suppose to think about the trends, you've kind of got to think about the context of what's shaping the trends. And there's always two sides to what drives change in an industry. There's the supply side, people coming out with bright ideas like AI, which we can come back to in a second. And of course, there's the guests, who I think, as we've already talked about, have a different expectation of how they interact. And that's pervasive across all services that they consume, whether it's mobile banking, whether it's the airline experience. And hotels, if I'm honest, have got a bit of catching up to do, I think, in that, but are absolutely adopting, are leaning into it. But in terms of the kind of core trends, so the other context I think that's worth noting is that probably across Europe and Asia, the markets we're sort of in, more than half of hotels still rely on on-premise legacy software. So I suppose if you think about the first trend, which has been one that's been continuing for some time, already, is the move to cloud technologies, which creates a whole lot more flexibility in the way in which they're able to operate. I think the second trend, I think relates a little bit to some of the challenges that hotels have faced with costs rising, with the difficulty of finding great staff or retaining great staff, often expensive. So they're looking for technology solutions that can help them do more. And I think what that's driving is the adoption in our market segment of platforms, of companies that are looking like Guestline to provide more of the solution across the operations of hotel, from distribution all the way through to operations, through to payments. Because once that's all joined up, in essence, and the innovation is continuous across that platform, which is a factor of cloud, then hotels, again, have the opportunity to operate more efficiently, to be more joined up. One of the benefits then of that sort of joined up platform, which would be a sort of third piece, is how they use data. And there's sort of two contexts or two important points there. One is when you have a platform that operates right across distribution as well as all the operational aspects, you have the full visibility of the order flow, the costs associated with that order flow, and the revenue flows at a guest level. So you suddenly are able to join data up. Now with Access, we can also put in all of the staff costs. We can also now start to put in all of the F&B costs. So you have a total picture of all the data you need to operate your business. So that can give you insight. But then when you start to apply the fourth trend, which is around AI, then suddenly, you can start to make use of that in ways you probably had never imagined. I think we're on a little bit of the hype cycle at the moment on AI. I think it follows a trend we've seen plenty of times before in technology, where there's a tendency to overestimate the impact in the short term, but underestimate the impact in the long term. One of the things that Access is doing at the moment, that we have a whole team of people that are just experimenting at the moment with large language models and machine learning, and now starting to deliver that into specific hospitality scenarios. But it's really the start of that journey that we're on. So that's, I guess, a fourth piece. And the final one, which I think we've already talked quite a bit about, is that digital guest experience. It's the change, it's the recognition that to deliver a great guest experience, absolutely the personality of the hotel has to come through, but you can deliver that alongside use of technology. It doesn't have to be a compromise of that guest experience. Technology can allow that hotelier to spend less time with their heads down, staring at screens, and more time engaging with customers, if that's their model and what they want to do. So those are the sort of the things I think that we see coming in the future.